How well do you do at coaching your employees? I think we've all heard how important coaching is. Senior executives in large organizations oftentimes have an executive coach assigned to them. I saw a study recently that said actually internal coaches are significantly more effective than external coaches. How well do you do at coaching your team members? You know what? In fact, let me take just a minute and make sure you and I are on the same page when we talk about coaching. Coaching is not directing. It's not fixing. It's not taking care of issues in the immediate sense. Coaching is bigger than that. Coaching is focused on long-term skills and behaviors that are going to contribute to your team members growing into the future. It may address short-term issues, but the focus is not on that issue. The focus on the skills and behaviors that impact performance and issues, not just today, but tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter, and into the future. With that definition, how are you doing at coaching your people? Unfortunately, many of the managers I talk with, when they're being real honest, say, you know what, Andy, I get caught up in the tyranny of the urgent so much, I'm not doing the coaching that I should be doing. Do you feel that way? I teach this stuff, and I struggle with coaching consistently. Not only do you and I struggle with coaching consistently, but our team members struggle. In fact, a recent study in the Harvard Business Review cited millennials saying that the number one place they wish they got more feedback was from their managers. But less than half of them said what they got from their managers was adequate feedback for them to grow. We're not alone in this. Now, here's the good news. I'm going to present to you a 20-minute monthly coaching conversation that I call the FAAST coaching model that is simple and easily executed. It's a question-based coaching model, so you don't have to come in with all the answers. You come in with some simple questions and think with them about where they need to go. We're going to talk about this. I call it the FAAST coaching model. In fact, in your packet of material, you've got a handout on that FAAST coaching model. 4 types of questions in this 20-minute monthly one-on-one. The first question has to do with focusing the conversation. So Scott, you and I wanted to make sure that we took some time today to talk about how it's going with that challenging project. Would it be all right if we spoke about how you're allocating your time on this project right now? I'd really like to zero in on how much time you're allotting. We've just focused the conversation from anything to the area where Scott and I need to have a conversation. Second type of question are the awareness questions. And so those are going to be the questions to get a sense of, do they realize how this area of performance, the underdeveloped skills or the poor behaviors are getting in their way of productivity, and you poke around. You might need to ask some questions a number of times. Some of the questions that I've given you on that handout are just samples of good awareness questions. So the F and the A. Now we move on to the second A of the FAAST model, and we talk about agreement questions. So we've taken a look at this issue. You and I have elevated your awareness and my awareness as well as your coach about what's going on. Now, can we agree to a plan to address that deficiency? Are there certain things that would make sense to strengthen that skill, to work on that behavior, to get with somebody that can help you get stronger, to spend time with me, spend time with our IT department, spend time with whoever we need to strengthen that area? Focus, awareness, agreement, and then next steps. So Scott, based on what we've been talking about, we've come up with a couple of ideas. What are you going to be able to implement in the next week or so, and when will you get back to me on that? This simple, FAAST coaching model is a 20-minute conversation once a month. At Cisco Technologies, the big tech company, they called it their out-of-the-office one-on-ones. And they went to Starbucks typically. And they had this type of conversation. For you and me as small business leaders and owners, we don't have the technology capabilities or the horsepower or the background or the HR department behind us to make sure this is a disciplined, robust approach. But you've got that one-page form I gave you. You can start meeting with your people. Take them to Starbucks once a month. I will tell you, the first couple months, they're going to wonder what's going on. Is this like going in my files? Am I in trouble now? And part of what you've got to communicate to them is FAAST coaching is an opportunity for them to grow. You are for them and for you to grow as well. In fact, what makes a FAAST coaching conversation a great conversation is when you ask some questions about you. Andy, what could I be doing to make my job support you better? How am I leading you well? How's this conversation going? And use that FAAST coaching model as an opportunity for feedback to go both directions. So in your packet of material, I gave you that handout with some sample questions. You'll also notice in the back of that, there's a simple case study. In fact, what we're going to break into in just a couple of minutes are some small groups and discuss the situation in front of you. It should feel familiar to you. It came out of your field. We had a chance to interview some of your colleagues at the conference here about situations they're running into with their team members. So I bet this will resonate for you. And we're going to have some group discussions, small group discussions, and then we'll elevate some of your comments around how would you coach in this situation? What do you want to accomplish, and how would that help your team members grow? The FAAST coaching model. Simple, repeatable, but also robust. My hope is, as a result of our time together this weekend, you'll adopt a rhythm of coaching on a monthly basis and use that simple tool.